into this, okay? So a lot of Spurs fans, including my chat, just starting off saying, I am so worried about Ron Harper, man. Dylan Harper's father. He's like, a lot of people are like, he's constantly going on these tangents. Not really. But he's constantly calling people out on Twitter about his son. And it's just like, oh, it just feels like Uncle Dennis. First off, I don't see how this feels like Uncle Dennis at all, right? Uncle Dennis basically was kind of in the shadows, right? He was like Palpatine, right? Well, he was really in the shadows. Was Palpatine in the shadows? I don't know if Palpatine was in the shadows. But he was making a lot of weird moves in the background, right? We never actually heard from Uncle Dennis. Now, as far as players, parents or whatever going on Twitter and sticking up for their kids, that happens plenty of times, right? That happens plenty of times. And Ron Harper, how he was as a player, and with his accolades, he's gonna have high expectations for his son. Like, it kind of reminds me of like Lamar Ball, right? Which Ron Harper is not as wild as Lamar Ball was. He was going on every single podcast, every single ESPN interview he possibly could. But even with him, has there been some type of controversy with his sons? Not really, right? Like, I mean, yeah, he said himself, oh, maybe I would want my kid to go here. But we're not getting that from Ron Harper. And I don't think, honestly, if I talk about the Lonzo Ball brothers, like the Mario brothers, I don't know why I did that. If I talk about the Ball brothers, like, they've been pretty chill, right? I mean, they've been pretty great, honestly, for their teams. And they're different from their dad. And I think we need to create that separation, right? Dylan Harper is not like Ron Harper at all. But even yet and still, he is nothing of Lamar Ball. He doesn't come across like Uncle Dennis at all. And everything that I've seen that people have gotten upset about, it's been either him just saying, hey, this report is wrong, or, we'll wait till draft night. But he hasn't once said anything in the lines of, I don't want him to play for X team or anything like that. It's just been sticking up for his son. So maybe it comes across a certain way, and I know that the vibes feel off, and that's probably what this more so comes down to, is just the vibes. But honestly, guys, just looking at it, it's not that big a deal. Now, the reason why I want to bring that up is because we do have a latest Ron Harper tweet here, and once again, calling out something which I actually think he probably should have, honestly. So Spurs reporter on Twitter ended up posting this. He says, Dylan Harper has already worked out for multiple teams, not limiting the possibility to the Spurs being his only landing spot. The pre-draft process, and then he quotes someone, the pre-draft process for me has been going great. Harper told Kristen Peak, I had a few workouts and I'm just getting my body in shape and yeah, blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm just going to continue. I'll continue, and then I'll give you my take. So Ron Harper replies with this: stop lying, please. He has not worked out for no teams. They came to see him work out. Your facts are wrong, clown. So this right off the bat is completely different, because wording matters, right? This is completely different than what was posted here. Now, I will say this. This is my one positive thing I'll say about Spurs reporter, is every single thing that is posted on his account, it's kind of like all these different takes and all these different reports from multitude of different sources and whatnot. But sometimes, like from what I noticed, when he puts in like 2 cents or tries to interpret certain things, it comes across like, wait, that's not true, or that's not what it said, or that's just inaccurate, right? Because that is completely different. Like, I could understand why Ron Harper would be upset by that, because basically what you're saying is that he's keeping his options open and he's going to work out all these different teams. But if he's just doing a workout, yes, say for the Spurs, and other scouts and other teams are coming to see him, that is not something to even report about, like, at all. Right? That's like nothing to report on at all. So I understand why he will be upset about that. And also, Spurs fans that are upset with this reply, wouldn't you be happy about this reply? He's basically saying, my son has not worked out for multiple teams. Like, stop acting like he's not going to the Spurs, right? Like, that's how I interpret this response. And then it continued, right? It continued just a little bit. It didn't continue like crazy, but it continued a little bit. And then Spurs reporter posts this, and he says, Dylan Harper's dad, former NBA champ Ron Harper, takes exception to the reports that his son projected. By the way, this reads a little strange. I don't know. It reads a little bit like AI. But anyways, takes exception to the reports that his son projected number 2 Spurs pick Dylan Harper has been working out for other NBA teams. He has not worked out for no teams. They came come on, bro. Just respond to what he's saying. And then he showed where he got this from some article. And then Ron Harper says, stop making stories up for clicks, clowns. So yeah, he really takes exception. He doesn't like this. He doesn't like this whatsoever. Now, what's kind of funny about this is literally Dylan Harper's dad, right? Like they're close. This is Dylan Harper's dad. If he's saying that his son has not worked out for multiple places, your response shouldn't be, well, actually, the reports say that he has. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's a little strange. Just being honest. I'm just being honest here, okay? I'm not going to sit here and be one-sided. I think that that's a little strange. Like, the response should be, this is, I apologize. This is where I got it from. But hey, if he hasn't, he hasn't, you know, that's it. Like, because I don't know why Ron Harper would lie about that. You know, I believe him. It's his dad. Yeah. That's just a weird way to respond to him saying he hasn't worked out for teams, because like I said, wording, oops, I didn't mean that. Like I said, wording is very important, right? So this right here, not limiting the possibility to the Spurs being his only landing spot, that's not, you're not saying you're doing it on purpose, but you're kind of pushing something that's not true. And I think the main thing, it kind of comes down to intention, right? Like in this one, what is Dylan Harper's intention? Nothing. He's just working out, right? And teams are checking him out. That's his intention. I'm just working out for the Spurs. And this one is like, I'm working out for multiple teams because you don't know what's going to happen, or I've heard some things. You know, it's like your mind can keep wandering and wandering and wandering and wandering to all these different possibilities, but it's not true. The Spurs are going to take Dylan Harper at number 2, unless there's like an insane deal you just can't pass up on, right? Like insane deal. More than likely, they're just going to take Dylan Harper at 2, right? There's nothing to really overthink here. I feel like Dylan Harper is extraordinarily talented. I think that he can be a multi-all-star. And I don't even think I think any take right now outside of that purview is just wrong. He's that good. Draft Dylan Harper and park him in the bench. Dad needs to stop being a helicopter parent. I don't see it that way, guys. That's what I'm saying. I don't see it that way. I'm trying my best not to be biased here. I think it just comes across like the vibe. You just don't like the vibe, but like, there's nothing Ron Harper has posted that I felt like he was being a helicopter parent. Like I mentioned Lamar Ball, but this is like, Lamar Ball is like 5 times worse. The reason why I brought him up is because the Ball brothers, there hasn't been any controversy really. And he was 5 times worse than this, you know? I don't know. I don't think it's that big a deal. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know, parents are parents. Ron Harper has high expectations for his son, I'm sure. But Dylan Harper as a person, if you listen to him or you pay attention, he's pretty chill, man. He's pretty chill. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Anyways, that's all I had to say about this part.